Right now, breaking news on News Channel 8.
Good evening, I'm Jen Holloway.
And I'm Josh Benson. Thanks for being with us. We want to get right out to some breaking news here in Tampa where an elementary school is on fire.
News Channel 8's Leslie Lacey is live for us there now. Leslie.
Yeah, thank you, Jen and Josh. I'm actually out here at the 300 block of Columbus Drive, right between Michigan and Jefferson in the heart of Tampa. And what we're seeing behind me here is one of the oldest schools in Hillsborough County. This was established in 1906. It is actually the Robert E. Elementary School. And as you can see, it is being completely destroyed. It is Robert E. Lee Elementary School. It is completely destroyed at this point. It's fully engulfed. And what happened was I'd say about 45 minutes ago, I was driving my car in this area and I saw some flames shooting out. It was, at that point, it was just a little bit like a white pillowing and a gray smoke. So I came over here and literally within 10 minutes, there were flames shooting out the top of the building and the roof collapsed, I'd say probably within 20 minutes after I arrived. And it's just very disheartening for the community here. A lot of people around the area who have children who go to the school. I believe around 300 kids go to the school. It is the magnet school. I understand, I did a little bit of digging online. I understand it is the first magnet school in Hillsborough County, and it was established back in 1906, so it's over 100 years old. I've got Paul Lamison here. Now, Paul, you were actually up in Eagle 8 when you saw flames, right?
Well, we weren't up. We were over at the Davis Island's airport, and then we looked up and you could see the flames from Davis Island, so I raced here. It took me about 5-10 minutes to get here. When I got here, there was not flames coming through the roof yet. There was just smoke, and then all of a sudden there was like a pop, and flames shot up through the roof. And then it just kept rolling and rolling, and now you see what it's doing now.
You know, when I came here, I went on Facebook Live immediately, and I had two people that live in the area describe that pop too. And they said before they came out and saw the flames, they said that their power came on, and then a short time after that, they heard a pop, and then they came out and they saw flames. We don't know if that's related, but that seems to be sort of a common theme of what I'm hearing.
Right, and what they're afraid of now, Tampa Police is telling us as soon as we're done this live shot, they're afraid the wall, the south wall, is going to come down. And they're afraid once that wall comes down, you're just going to get a barrel of smoke coming our way and debris. So as soon as we're done, they're backing us up. So that's a concern now. The building structure is in question.
And I tell you what, just a few minutes ago, we were about 30 feet closer, and we were starting to feel the heat of the flames.
Oh yeah, as we were shooting, I was getting video, and you could feel the flames, you could feel the heat on you, and it really started getting hot. You could feel it like you were too close to a campfire, is how you can describe it. But it was the fire from the building.
And you see, just as I see all of the community stepping out, coming outside of their house, apparently this particular school is endeared to the community around here just because it is so old and it's been here for so long. Josh, I understand you have a question?
Yeah, guys, Leslie, you told me this is in 1906, obviously a very old building, the first magnet school. So we were watching earlier how much water was dumped onto this thing. It doesn't even seem like it put a dent in it. It has gotten worse since we saw Paul last at 7 o'clock. Any idea what is in the roof of this building, or are firefighters talking about why it is still so intense?
He's asking why it's so intense. At this point, we don't know what happened with the roof, but I can tell you that within, say, 20 minutes of me arriving, the roof collapsed. And I was on the back end of the school, and that's actually the south end, and that's where I came around when I was doing Facebook Live, and I saw flames, just little flames popping up through the back, and then within a matter of minutes, it completely just collapsed and became fully engulfed. So at this point, we don't know what has caused this. We don't know how this happened, but we know that it was fully engulfed very, very quickly. And I will say that the fire department was here very soon, and the police were cordoning off and trying to get people as safe as possible and pushing them back, and they're continuing to push us back as well. So we'll keep you posted on what we find out from here. Back to you.
All right, thank you guys. Leslie Lacey and Paul Lamison live at Robert E. Lee Elementary School. As you can see, it is on fire. Very intense flames in Tampa, Michigan, and Jefferson. Brad, do we want to stay and continue to look at this? Okay, we're going to continue to watch this scene because it just hasn't calmed down at all. Like I said, at 7 o'clock, this is when the call came into us. We got this live on the air with Paul Lamison, and Leslie was rolling on the Facebook Live. They called in additional fire units. I know Tampa brought in some more units there. This was a 2 to 3 alarm fire, meaning they needed more resources because what they were doing with this fire just was not dampening the flames, and now you can see they're really hitting it from all angles. I know it is darker outside, so you can't see, but from the other side of the building, they were hitting it as well. From your vantage point, now you said this is not necessarily safe from where you guys are at. Are they going to push you back? What's the next plan of action for this fire?
Okay, well, at this point now, we have been pushed back about 30 feet from where we were, and you can see the water is just pummeling on it. And now you can't see this, but on the other side of this elementary school, water is, and there's a huge crane with firefighters that were in the crane, and water is being thrown on that side. So you're just seeing one element of what's going on, and of course, it is very extreme. We're also seeing pieces, it looks like pieces of the roof fall off. Now the center, I can tell you this, the center of the roof collapsed about 25 minutes ago. I witnessed that happen. And also the sound of this fire is intense. Sometimes you will hear these loud roars come out of here. I can feel the heat where I'm at, and I was, again, just pushed back a little bit. So very, very intense and very, very quick. This thing was engulfed very quickly, I would say. Probably within about 30 minutes, it was extremely intense.
Hey,
and
Leslie,
who knows what was going on inside as well. Yes.
I find it very interesting on your Facebook Live. It was very helpful that people nearby heard the same pops you were explaining. For our viewers who are just joining us, we were talking a little bit about speculating maybe how this could have started. And I know we mentioned earlier that power had recently come on for parts of that neighborhood. Obviously, this area losing power because of Hurricane Irma, but you said you heard people mention or read people mentioning that the power came on in their homes, and then they heard these big pops. Explain that again for the viewers, what they said.
Okay, so what happened was I was talking to a few of the residents, and as everybody was coming out to see what was happening, and there was a teacher that I spoke to. I think I'm having a little bit of a weird technical issue, but I believe, can you guys still hear me
at
this point?
Yep, you can keep talking.
Hello?
We got you. Can you hear us?
Hello?
Okay, we're going to just continue to keep watching this. Leslie may have to reestablish her connection with our producers back in the studio here. But what you are looking at now, if you're just joining us now, this is Robert E. Lee Elementary School in Tampa, the oldest magnet school, the first magnet school in Tampa, houses about 300 students. Obviously, none of those students were there, thankfully. Built in 1906, so one of Tampa's older buildings, showing you some of the devastation here. That roof has collapsed by what we can see. The roof has collapsed, so that means now whatever was burning in that attic area has now burned through, and now it's leading down into the sides of the building. Leslie, I believe you're back, so now tell us what you're seeing in terms of this. The sides of this building is all brick, so really it's only got one place to go, is down through the school in the heart of the building here, where the frame essentially would be. So is that what you're assuming is burning at this point?
Yes, the outside of the building is not burning. You're exactly right. It is brick, but the top of the roof, of course, fully engulfed. And I can see inside of the windows. The windows have not been blown out yet. They're still intact. Oh, but it looks like I can see a crack up there as well, coming away from the window. So again, pieces just falling down from the top at this point. Now they're hitting the ground. And but of course the ground is very wet because Hurricane Irma just came through, so that's probably a good thing considering these pieces are flying all around the place. Again, they have pushed us back. You know, Josh, you had asked me about some of the residents that I spoke with earlier, and one of them was a teacher. Her kids went to the school. She didn't teach here, but the school, it's just endeared to the community because it is over 100 years old. They really love it. Again, it was the first magnet school, I understand, in Hillsborough County. And also, as people were coming out here, they were just completely in shock. 3 different people that I spoke to said they had their power go on right around 5 o'clock, 5:15. And then shortly after that, they heard a pop. And then shortly after that, they either saw on Facebook Live or they heard people bustling about and came out and saw this fire going on. Now, we don't know if that pop is connected or what the story is surrounding it, but I definitely have heard that from several people at this point.
One thing fire crews are now concerned about is that crack you were pointing out earlier. If this wall collapses, which it sounds like it's getting ready to, the asbestos in this building, this is an older building, and when that cloud comes our way, we have to watch out, because if this building does have asbestos, like many from this time era, it's really dangerous for us to be here breathing in this smoke. That's one of the reasons they're backing us up every little bit, because every so often you'll hear like a creak, and that's the bricks losing structure, and eventually they're afraid this whole wall is going to fall.
And if that whole wall does fall, we are certainly not in a good place.
We're on the opposite side, at least. I think we're far enough to the side, but directly behind it is where the smoke's going.
All right.
All right, well, we're going to be out here keeping you posted. Now back to you, Josh.
All right, thank you guys for the coverage on this fire, and we're going to stay with this. We're going to take a quick break here, but we just got an update into the newsroom of what this fire consists of. This is a 3-alarm fire, meaning more units have been pulled into this fire to help fight it because it wasn't working earlier what they were doing. They needed more support for that. We just heard from Jason Penny of Tampa Fire Department, PIO. He said that this is not a suspicious fire. They do not believe this is suspicious at this point. And one thing we did hear that Leslie Lacey was telling us was very interesting on her Facebook live stream. People who live near that area heard loud pops because they were actually watching the coverage, but they also said that, ironically, just before this fire started, their power came back on after they had lost it to Hurricane Irma. So what we are thinking is maybe, we're speculating here, but maybe the power coming back on in this building is what triggered this fire, but obviously we don't have an official cause for this. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back and bring you more coverage of this fire at Robert E. Lee Elementary School at the intersection of Michigan and Jefferson in Tampa. Stay with us. Welcome back to our team coverage and continuous breaking news of this fire. You are looking at live flames at Robert E. Lee Elementary School. This is at 305 East Columbus Drive in Tampa. This is a K-5 magnet elementary school. In fact, it's the oldest magnet school in Tampa, built in 1906. And just about an hour or so ago, we got the call in that this rooftop of this building started burning. Our Leslie Lacey was actually driving through the area when she saw flames coming from the building, stopped, started up a Facebook Live, and that's when we started to see these flames get a lot more intense.
Yeah, at this point it's a 3-alarm fire. There are multiple units on scene. They've been just pouring water on the roof of that building for almost an hour and a half now. We understand there were some pops in the area. According to some local neighbors, their electricity sparked on, and then all of a sudden they walked out and they saw the flames as well. Now, as far as we know, there are no injuries. School, of course, is out, and the kids were not expected to go back until Monday. I also found out that this was not an official designated hurricane shelter. So we know that folks weren't in there over the weekend, people who were stranded because of the hurricane, and that's probably because that building is so old. Back in the 1900s it was built, named after Robert E. Lee. I also heard that smoke is being seen as far away as Clearwater. Right before the sun went down, some folks on the Courtney Campbell said that they saw smoke that far away. That's a super intense fire. The middle of the roof, it caved in about 30 minutes ago, and we're watching those bricks heat up, and they're going to start to crumble off the side there, especially as that massive plume of water is hitting those bricks. That is thousands and thousands of pounds of force. And again, that is an old building, and it's coming directly against those walls. And that's why they've asked our crews to move back, because they are a bit afraid that those walls could crumble. And if they do, our Paul Lamison, who was at the scene there, he's been shooting the video for us, he was noting that there could be asbestos inside that building, and they do not want them to breathe that. We have heard from Tampa Fire PIO Jason Penny, who says he does not believe this is a suspicious fire, but we are thinking it may be related to that electrical power coming back on from the outages in that area. 100 schools in Hillsborough County or around the Bay Area actually have lost power due to Hurricane Irma. We want to get out to the scene now. We have Paul Lamison and Leslie Lacey, who are both on scene there together. Leslie, I believe you can hear us. Why don't you give us a status update of what you're seeing?
Okay. Well, just within the last few minutes, actually the last time that I was speaking with you, Josh and Jen, a lot more debris has actually come off of the top of the roof and fallen down onto the ground. Now, the ground's kind of wet, of course, because we just had a hurricane come through, so that's good, but we are definitely seeing little flakes and little timbers flying all around and onto the ground below. Also, inside where the window was before, just 10 minutes ago, I did not see any flames in the windows. Now you can look right through the windows and you can see that the interior of the building up on that second or third floor there is completely engulfed. So it's just getting worse and worse. We're seeing more flames and plenty of water getting pummeled onto the top, but nonetheless, these flames just keep going.
I just can't imagine how much water they keep putting on this thing. And how many units are out there? Can you guys tell us? Actual hoses going, dumping water on this fire?
Well, I know that there is at least 4 that I can see, it looks like, but we're also like at the corner of the building. I know that over on Jefferson, on the onset, there was a large crane, just as you see on our side of the street. We're on Michigan. Now, this is on Columbus Drive. It's the 300 block of Columbus Drive, and it's between Michigan and Jefferson. And this school was originally called Michigan years and years ago, and then the name was changed to Robert E. Lee Elementary, and just as you said, it's over 100 years old. So, you know, if we were to show you all of the people that are out here just so upset, it would be, it's quite heartbreaking. Also, think about all the school supplies. I mean, thank goodness school is not in session, and at this point we don't have any word of any injuries or anything like that, but nonetheless, there is a lot of material in the school, and it's a special school, it's a magnet school, and about 300 kids reportedly go to this elementary school.
It's also a technical magnet school of world studies and technology. So Leslie, like you pointed out, there's a lot of expensive equipment that was inside that school with 300 kids. I'm sure the school was able to fund a lot of money to each and every one of those kids, being that it wasn't a school with 3,000 kids. So there's a lot of technology in there for sure. Do you know if there are any other units that are being called to the scene, or is this still Tampa Fire Rescue? Are they going to need more help?
Well, it's difficult to see where we're located because we're sort of cordoned off into one area, and of course there's police tape around us, so we can't really see how many units are on scene. But TPD, they've got this roadway blocked off, not just on Michigan, but also on Amelia, on Morgan. Actually, we're on Morgan. I said Michigan, but I stand corrected. We're actually on Morgan and Amelia right here, and that is just off of Columbus. So between Morgan and Jefferson, and that's where this is located, again, the 300 block. So we can't tell how many units are out here, but you know, I see plenty of vehicles everywhere I turn. If there's not a Tampa Fire Department, there is TPD.
Well,
trying
Leslie,
to keep people safe in the community.
These flames are so intense, it's burning the inside of this school, and like you said, you got to stand back. Obviously, these walls could crumble at any point. There's not going to be much left of this school, given how intense these flames are. Stay with us. You and Paul Lamison stand by for us. We're going to take a quick break, but we want to continue with this coverage. Robert E. Lee Elementary School in Tampa at 305 East Columbus Drive on fire at this moment. We'll be right back with more on the situation out there.
Welcome back to our continuing coverage of a raging fire happening right now in Tampa. This is Robert E. Lee Elementary School. This fire started around 5:45 this afternoon, and it all started with some sparks, and now it's a 3-alarm fire, and we have multiple units on the scene. Leslie Lacey is there live. She's with Paul Lamison, and they're covering it for us. Leslie, bring us up to speed.
Okay, well, Paul just took off. He's going to be heading out to Eagle, and at this point, just within the last few minutes since I last talked to you, Jen and Josh, it actually has taken another turn here. We've seen pieces fall off the top. The awning came down onto the ground, and now it looks like the fire department has moved over into the backside, the south side, and they are now shooting water through a window, a burned out window at this point, from another side. So they are now moving around these water shooters, as I say, the hoses, as they're taking them around. So now we've got other areas that they are placing water at. So as they're trying to get a handle on this, it's still, of course, very much engulfed, but I'm not seeing as intense flames out the top of the building. However, I am seeing more flames inside of the building through the windows.
Leslie, I think the big thing is here, you look at this fire and you feel heartbroken because this is one of, as you say, one of Tampa's cherished buildings. It is a very old building, 1906, first magnet school you had mentioned. 300 students attend this school. But the very best news is nobody was inside, thankfully. This school, we believe, did not have power because of Hurricane Irma and had recently gotten power back. That's when we believe this may have started. Now, we can't confirm that for sure, but that seems to be what people in the area had noticed. Power had come back to them, and soon thereafter, this fire started. But what was interesting too is that we've had 47 schools in Hillsborough County used as Hurricane Irma shelters. Now this is unbelievable that this was not used as one, and thankfully it wasn't, because there are still a lot of people in these shelters, and this fire was so intense and so deadly it would have been an awful situation if there was anybody inside. So that is some good news there. 100 schools in and around the area had some power outages in the Bay Area, so that was another problem that they were dealing with. This one, like we believe, had power restored. And now this. So that's what we're working on, trying to figure out how this all started.
Right, we're not sure how it started, but we did hear from Jason Penny with Tampa Fire Rescue. He does not believe the fire is suspicious. He thinks that it all started earlier this afternoon, and that's when the crews began to respond. It's a 3-alarm fire, no injuries, no children inside. Tampa Fire Rescue at the scene. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with more coverage of the Robert E. Lee Elementary School blazing in Tampa.
Welcome back to breaking news in our team coverage of the Robert E. Lee Elementary School fire. That is happening right now. It is actually at 305 East Columbus Drive in Tampa. If we can get a picture up, we can show you exactly what's happening. This is an elementary school built all the way back in 1906. It's a brick outside, and it had, there we go. And now you can see the roof is gone. It had
who's Mike? Have you
flames have been cut. You're listening to Leslie Lacey there. They are switching out right now. We're getting Peter Bernard down on scene as well. So we're going to get to the reporters in just a second. But to give you a little background, this is an old school, as I mentioned, 1906. It's the first magnet school. 300 students attend this school. Luckily, no one was inside when these flames took hold of the rooftop. But as you can see, the roof is gone. Now what seems to be left is the center of the school and the framing inside, but the brick walls that surround this school. This came in several hours ago. The fire started, and started with the department, Tampa Fire Department, putting lots of water on this fire. They called it a 3-alarm fire, so they brought in added resources. We did hear from the PIO from Tampa Fire, Jason Penny, who says he does not believe this is a suspicious fire, but they're going to continue to watch, and we're working to try to figure out the cause of this fire. We just don't know it at this point.
Good news is no children were inside the school. There are no injuries. And by the way, this school was not used as a hurricane shelter, so there weren't a lot of people inside there these last few days. Our own News Channel 8's Peter Bernard is live at the scene now. Peter, what can you tell us?
All right, we are here at the scene of this fire. It is the Robert E. Lee Elementary School, and I'm going to step out of the way and show you that this thing is a cooker. As I made my way over.
All right, we apologize. I believe we lost Peter. We're going to get that connection reestablished. Moments ago, though, as you can see, here was some of the flames from Leslie Lacey. She was on Facebook Live, and this was from her vantage point. One thing about this fire, you may have noticed while driving home or while driving around Tampa, the plumes of black smoke initially that filled the sky. If you were looking toward downtown and out east, you would have noticed the massive amount of smoke that this was pushing out earlier. That has subsided as obviously darkness has fallen, but Peter is out there trying to get reestablished. And we had Paul Lamison out there as well. He was actually, he rides in our Eagle 8 HD helicopter, and he videos news from us from that helicopter. He noticed when he was out at the airport, he noticed the smoke. So he got in his car, drove over there, took him about 5 minutes, he said, and that's when he saw the flames. And Leslie was over there and actually saw the flames as she drove by. So she stopped. And then all of a sudden that roof just went into full flames.
And when that roof collapsed, it went down hard. And once it did, you could see inside the building there. You could actually see through the windows and the flames that were raging through that building. It looks like the fire was going to gut that building, an old building built in 1906. It's the Robert E. Lee Elementary School. It's the Magnet School of World Studies, the first magnet school in Hillsborough County. It's located in the 300 block of East Columbus Drive in Tampa Heights. It has about 300 students. The school itself, though, has been making headlines these last few months because of its name. Several people in the community feel that that name needs to be changed. So this school has been the focus of school board meetings a whole lot in these last few months. But again, this raging fire is happening at the Robert E. Lee Elementary School, and we have more for you.
We're going to continue to watch the flames, try to get that connection reestablished. But we want to take a quick break, go over to weather, and get the latest on the forecast. Obviously, Hurricane Irma, we've all been dealing with that storm. It has calmed down and pushed out of the state. Julie, tell us what we're in for in the next few days.
Now, Max Defender 8, the world's most powerful radar, and your Storm Team 8 forecast with meteorologist Julie Phillips.
And thankfully, yes, we can say goodbye to Irma. You can see right there on Max Defender 8. Nice and quiet conditions. A lot of folks have been out getting their yards, getting all the debris up. You know, we have a lot of downed trees in the area. Also, a lot of things like roof damage. Thankfully, has been completely dry today. Haven't been tracking any showers at all on Max Defender 8. The reason why, behind Irma, we actually had some much drier air move in. That's pretty common behind these tropical systems. A lot of moisture concentrated around them. And then on the backside, we'll see some drier air filter in. And you can definitely see that not just here in the Tampa Bay area, but across the entire state of Florida. Looks pretty good right now. As far as flooding is concerned, well, there's no rain falling, but we could still see some flooding as we head into the overnight hours because the Anclote is expected to crest tonight. Right now at 24.84 feet. Flood stage is 20 feet, so this is almost 5 feet above when it crests. The Hillsborough River near Zephyr Hills is now at over 14 feet. Flood stage is 10 feet. This river is also expected to crest tonight. And the Alafai right now at 22.79 feet should crest tonight as well. This flood stage at only 13 feet, so this is nearly 10 feet above flood stage. And the Little Manatee River near Waimama is at just over 17 feet, flood stage 11 feet. This river has already crested, so levels are falling and will continue to hopefully get back to normal soon, especially since we have some fairly dry weather in the forecast for you. Nice night tonight, 85 degrees. When you wake up tomorrow morning, a sunny start to the day will be in the mid 70s. We'll top out in the upper 80s tomorrow and bring in just a very slim rain chance, 10% chance of a pop-up shower. Generally, though, you will not need the umbrellas. Outside now, with all the folks without power, it's still going to be kind of a warm night. Typical for this time of the year, maybe slightly less humidity, but yes, it's still definitely going to be on the humid side for you. 77 in Weeki Wachee, it's 77 in Inverness, 83 in Bradenton, and 80 in Apollo Beach. Dew points upper 60s, low 70s, so not too bad for the summertime months. You know, sometimes we can see these reaching into the mid to upper 70s, but still on the humid side for us. So as we head through this evening, we'll just see a few clouds around. We're not expecting to see any rain, and then when you wake up tomorrow morning, we'll have nothing but sunshine, drier air around, so maybe a quick pop-up shower or two, slim 10% chance of a passing shower. Now Thursday, we'll start to see deeper moisture come back in. So sunshine to start the day and then more of our typical summertime showers and storms as we head into Thursday afternoon. As far as rain chances are concerned, a slim rain chance tomorrow, but then you can see those rain chances quickly climb and we're back into a seasonal summertime forecast heading into next week. We are watching Hurricane Jose for you, a Category 1 storm as of the 5 p.m. update. But most of our models do have this staying out at sea. We'll, of course, continue to watch Jose, but at this time, no imminent threat to the U.S. coastline. Notice for our 8-day forecast, temperatures quickly rising. We're back up into the low 90s through this weekend and next week. Guys?
Thanks, Julie. Now to our After Irma coverage. Bay Area rivers are rising after Irma. Our drone pilot, Peter Bernard, shot some video of the swollen Alafaya River. You can see it right there behind me. When the Alafaya started rising, a lot of people wound up trapped by those floodwaters. News Channel 8's Jeff Patterson shows us the effort to rescue them.
This is Rose Street and Williams Boulevard just off of Lithia Pinecrest. The water of the Alafaya started coming up yesterday, but late last night it started rising rapidly, trapping a number of people back here. On Lynx Paw Road, we found Victor Huber doing his best to manage his cattle and a horse in the middle of rising water.
That's my best friend right there. That bull picks me up on his head. He loves me to death. He'll hug me and we sit there and play. We've had him since he was a calf, and he's just like a dog, really. It's like a big, big dog.
With the help of friends, Huber moved them to higher ground. Then he helped others on his street.
We got lucky. I was helping some of the neighbors earlier move their prized possessions, their family heirlooms and pictures and stuff like that out of their house, get it out of the water, so at least they got memories, you know, that's all we got.
That's the way it is back here, neighbor helping neighbor. Craig Bradley gave us a tour of the area on his boat. He's been helping others all day.
So we helped Miss Connie come down here and get in her place. We helped her put up some computers and stuff, and we took some people down here to the end of the road and made sure they had their stuff put up.
As we were making our way down the flooded streets, we found Kathleen Autry sitting on her porch with her young daughter and learned the water had risen too quickly for them to get out.
It wasn't bad after the storm. It really wasn't. It was fine. We could get in our yard.
She told me things changed after they went to sleep.
They released that dam down the street, and this morning we all woke up to this.
Craig Bradley promised he would be back if they needed to get out.
Just trying to help out.
Late this afternoon, Hillsborough County Fire Rescue, the Sheriff's Office, and even Animal Services showed up to help the residents who live back here get out if they want to. Animal Services even rescued a dog from the floodwaters, but some of the residents said they just want to stay where they are. Now, I have talked to a number of people who live back here who are concerned because they believe the situation was created when Hillsborough County released water from a dam. But Hillsborough County Emergency Management tells me there is no dam on the Alafai River. This situation was created quite naturally by Hurricane Irma. In Hillsborough County, Jeff Patterson, News Channel 8.
Well, gas is still in short supply in the Bay Area. A lot of gas stations either just don't have fuel or they don't have the power to pump it.
And that is leading to long lines at gas stations that do have gasoline. Stefan Dingle from our sister station in Birmingham joins us now live in Pasco County as drivers are looking to refuel. Stefan?
Josh, good evening. Here in Pasco County, it was actually a lot easier to get gas today than a lot of folks expected. All this after yesterday's chaos and panic at the pump. People are on edge a lot. Did you get a sense of that?
Yeah, I was on edge myself, man.
Sir, when are you going to be done? When are you going to turn the pumps on?
Day 2 after Hurricane Irma, Pasco County saw pump after pump after pump close with no gas. Truck driver John Searle says there is no shortage. People just need to pack their patience as he pulled up to his first gas delivery of the day.
Calm down, people. It's not, we're doing the best we can to get the gas here as soon as we can. Everybody in a panic is not making our job any easier.
On our way to Tampa.
There are people asking us online and whatever, have you seen gas? You know, do you know where there's some gas? Even last night. Yeah, finally.
Now much calmer, people stocked up at the pump and even took a little extra for more than their cars.
Oh, it's awesome because my husband is ill and we have a generator running and we're running out of gas. So
I'm very thankful so I can keep some power. I've got 3 refrigerators in my house and I have a disabled daughter, so I, need to keep things running the best I can.
Make sure it's wide enough so you can see it's empty here. Now, Josh, just within the last 20 minutes, this gas station has cleared out. Why? Because they've put plastic bags back on the pump, putting up these signs to say they are out of gas. Now, a lot of people have been rolling through here to see the same scenario. They've finally been coming out of their homes, but not to worry. The gas station clerk here and from that truck driver we spoke to earlier today, they say crews will be back here to fill it back up tomorrow. In Pasco County tonight, Stefan Dingle, News Channel 8.
News everybody wants to hear. More gasoline. Stefan Dingle, thanks so much.
We are covering breaking news tonight in Tampa Heights. A raging fire right now happening at the Robert E. Lee Elementary School. It's a 3-alarm blaze, multiple units on scene. We had a little trouble with our technology earlier. We've got it back, and we're going to show you what that is. Coming up right after the break, we'll get the latest from that scene.
We have breaking news right now in Tampa. Fire crews still working to put out a massive fire at Robert E. Lee Elementary School.
Our Peter Bernard is live at the scene. He joins us now with the latest. Peter.
Hi there, guys. This is a real cooker out here. Take a look behind me. The Robert E. Lee Elementary School. It's on East Columbus Avenue. It's what I'm hearing is a 3-alarm fire. We're going to confirm that with Tampa Fire Rescue. The flames out here are immense. For the last, I'd say, almost 2 hours, Tampa Fire Rescue has been putting water on this through some of the ladder trucks that you're looking at here, and the flames are coming through the roof. It looks like the fire has burned through completely the second floor. Everyone is, from what I hear, got out okay. The good news on this is the school is on recess now because of the hurricane, and the power in this area is cut off. So it's an eerie sight to watch this school going up in flames, and it's essentially the only light that we see except for the fire trucks and, of course, the flames. This was sometimes called Lee Elementary School. It's a school of technology. It is a magnet school. The principal is Beverly Smith. We understand there are 309 students at this school, and they're going to have to be making other arrangements to go to another school, obviously, because it looks to me like this facility is a total loss. The Tampa Fire Rescue has been really working diligently to try and get a handle on this. I'm not a professional when it comes to firefighting, but I'm going to bet that they have taken what they call a defensive stance because it's too dangerous to actually get in the building. The roof appears to have collapsed, and I'm going to guess it's shortly going to be collapsing down to the first floor. This is a school where the students wear uniforms. They come here because they want to. It's a magnet program. Moments ago, I had an opportunity to talk to a worker here. She's what she referred to as a hostess, and she was in tears as she watched this school go up in flames before her very eyes. She knows a lot of the students. She knows a lot of the faculty here, and she was telling me that she really feels for the students who are seeing this, that most of them obviously live in this neighborhood if they're not dropped off, and it's going to be a traumatic experience, an emotional experience for them to actually see the school burn down. I don't know if we have any video that we shot earlier to show you. If we do, let's go ahead and take that. Right now, Tampa Fire Rescue has this surrounded. It's on all four sides. And Kate, yeah, go ahead. Oh, we got the video, great. Hey, Kate, I'm going to ask you there on the right-hand side, I see a new piece of flame start to come out from the top floor there. I know I just asked for video, but some of the flames that have been leaping into the air have been quite dramatic, 20, 30 feet. I was making my way back from Riverview to come to this, and as I was on the Selman Expressway, I could see the thick black smoke billowing into the air from quite a distance. It was quite a sight to see, and I know from watching some of our Facebook posts that viewers have been telling us that they can see the smoke from a long way away. As I approached, people were asking me what's on fire. When I told them it was not a good thing, and I'll tell you again in case you're just joining us, it's the Robert E. Lee Elementary School. And we're back out here live now, and you can see this fire is being attacked on all four sides. We are on one side here on the west side. Most of the fire has been on the west side. I can see that the east side of the building doesn't appear to be on fire, but the middle part is, and that appears to be where it is spread to. You can see some of the flames coming out of the roof right now. And it's just an amazing sight. We're going to have a total wrap-up on this and give you the latest and hopefully find out what caused this on News Channel 8 at 11 o'clock. Back to you guys.
All right, Peter Bernard live for us on scene there at Robert E. Lee Elementary School. He did talk to some people out there, so we're going to try to get that sound turned around for you. And if not, it's going to be coming up in our next newscast as well. But we have much more coverage on this fire.
Stay with us. We'll be right back. We're covering breaking news right now out of Tampa. Robert E. Lee Elementary School, built in the 1900s, is a raging inferno right now. The fire sparked several hours ago. Firefighters now on scene of this 3-alarm blaze. Tampa Fire Rescue has 5 fire engines out there at the moment, 2 of them happening to be ladder trucks as they are pounding this building with water. The roof collapsed a short time ago, and now they're fighting the fire from deep inside. And it looks like they're doing their best to get those flames under control, but so far, not much luck.
This can be a little deceiving because if you saw earlier video, we'll get that up for you in just a minute, the flames were awfully intense, but that roof, as Jen said, has collapsed. So now the flames, there you go. That's what it looked like just moments ago, within the last hour. So they have been battling this for a while now, dumping a lot of water on it, and those flames are very stubborn and they're so intense that they just continue into the bulk of the building surrounded by those brick walls. This is a K-5 magnet school. 300 some students attend this school, and I believe they are off now until Monday. We'll have to check that, but that's the latest update from Hillsborough County. There was 47 schools in Hillsborough County used as shelters. This one luckily was not. It had lost power, and that's the result of why it couldn't be used as a shelter. But there is no power in that neighborhood from what we can see, and that's why Peter Bernard earlier was telling us it's so eerie, such an eerie sight there to see nothing but this building on fire. We do have Peter live on scene out at 305 East Columbus Drive in Tampa to give us an update on this fire. Peter, what have you learned recently?
Yeah, as you look at a live picture, it looks like Tampa Fire Rescue is getting a handle on this. I have some additional information. There's a person who lives in the neighborhood here that said between 4 and 5 o'clock, TECO tried to start up the power in this area, and at that time she said she heard some kind of a surging noise and some pops. Now we don't know if that has had anything to do with this fire, but it is quite coincidental. Surging noise and pops as they tried to reestablish power in this area. Of course, the power out because of Hurricane Irma. So take a look at what's going on right now. You can still see that orange glow in the second floor. What's good now is I don't see flames leaping into the air, and the smoke is white as opposed to black, or mostly white as opposed to black. So if we were approaching this, it really looked bad. This is quite a burner going on here. And the Tampa Fire Rescue is still trying to put water on it through their ladder trucks. You can see they're getting a handle on it somewhat. The students that go here, approximately 305 or so that go here, are going to obviously have to go to a different school come Monday morning when Hillsborough schools resume session after being out because of Hurricane Irma. That's the latest I've got for you guys.
Peter, you said you were talking with somebody out there. Can you tell us who that is? I know you're going to be turning some stuff around at 11 o'clock to give us a full update. Who did you talk to out there?
Her name is Rochelle, and I understand we do have some sound from her, so let's go ahead and listen in. You're emotional about watching this?
Yes, I am.
Tell me why.
Very emotional. Yes, I work there.
You work there?
Yeah, I've been working here almost 3 years now.
What do you do?
I'm a host instructor. I work with the after-school program.
Oh, man. Why is it emotional for you to see this burn down? You have an attachment to it.
I have an attachment. The kids, the teachers, everybody's just wonderful.
When you see this, do you think that it's more than a building, isn't it?
Honestly, yes, it is. Yes, it is. I mean, I've heard the building has been standing for a long time, but when you come here and you got connected the way I've gotten connected, it's very devastating.
All right, and back here live again, and you can see the flames are still going. The good news is they're not as tall as they were before. I'm seeing lots of white smoke indicating perhaps they're getting a handle on it, but just from my vantage point, I think this thing is a goner and most likely a total loss. Back to you.
All right, Peter, thank you so much. Reporting live from the scene.
Stay close. We'll be right back. We'll have more on this fire as soon as we return.
Some breaking news right now in Tampa. Fire crews still working to put out a massive fire at a local elementary school.
We've been following this news for the last hour. This is what it looked like about an hour ago. Tampa Fire getting the upper hand on this fire. But we have some reporters on scene. Peter Bernard is live. He'll be staying out there gathering some information. He's going to put a full report for you together at 11 o'clock over on News Channel 8.
All right. Thank you for joining us here tonight on Great 38. And we'll see you again tomorrow night.
Have yourself a good night. Thanks again for joining us.